Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Paula Degnan. The jury in the triple murder trial of Preston Bonnet found him guilty of second and third degree murder and arson. Bonnet was accused of starting the fire at a home in Laughlin in 2017 that claimed the lives of 3 brothers. Prosecutors say Bonnet was angry with the boys' mother, Susan Major, who threw Bonnet and his then girlfriend out of her home. He was also the ex-boyfriend of Major. After prosecutors rested their case yesterday, the defense brought witnesses to the stand, then rested their case as well. Closing arguments began this morning, and shortly after, the jury went into deliberation. They came back with that guilty verdict around 3 o'clock this afternoon. A fire that left heavy damage to a restaurant bar in Butler Township was an accident. That's according to a state police fire marshal. Emergency crews were called to Evans Roadhouse on Route 309 last Friday night at St. John's and Honey Hole Road. The restaurant plans to reopen. Repairs began over the weekend. A man from Berwick now faces numerous charges after an incident there. Berwick police say it all began around 8:30 yesterday morning when they were called to the 1100 block of South Pine Street to reports of shots fired into the window of a laundromat. 6 adults and a juvenile were in the area. Police took a man into custody who they say tried to conceal a weapon. After examining video shot by a witness and checking video surveillance, police arrested 27-year-old William Miranda. He was charged with 4 counts of criminal attempt to commit homicide, 4 counts of aggravated assault, and 5 counts of reckless endangerment. He is now in the Columbia County Prison. We now know the explosion that destroyed a house and killed 2 people last month in Dorrance Township occurred during a propane leak. The cause of the fire is still undetermined. Investigators believe it was an accident. The explosion on Alberdine Road claimed the lives of Esther and Eugene Hedgepeth. Their son Nathan suffered injuries. A 2-vehicle crash in Rush Township sent 5 people to the hospital earlier this afternoon. Rush Township police say a Jeep Liberty carrying 4 young adults landed on its roof in the eastbound lane of Route 54 after colliding with another SUV. They were taken to the hospital for treatment along with another woman who was driving the other vehicle. No word on their conditions. A Hazleton woman sentenced to 2 years probation and 50 hours community service for making false statements in the purchase of firearms. 27-year-old Jasmine Wing was arraigned Friday in front of a U.S. District Court judge. Wing purchased 6 firearms while making false representations that she was the actual buyer, when in fact her father and his co-conspirators selected, paid for, and took possession of the firearms. Those firearms purchased at Bob's Sporting Goods in Hazleton and Dave's Gun Shop in Drums between September 2014 and April 2015. 2 of the firearms were recovered in law enforcement operations, including one that was used in a February 2015 shooting in Hazleton. Her father, Theodore Wing, was previously convicted of aiding and abetting and making false statements in the purchase of firearms, and in April was sentenced to 63 months in prison. 2 men pleaded guilty to conspiracy to launder some of the proceeds from a nationwide drug trafficking organization on Monday. 48-year-old Timothy Riley and 49-year-old John Euler must serve time in prison, a year of supervised release, and each must forfeit $800,000. Riley is a former state agent that was once deployed in the Hazleton area from 2008 through 2014. He retired from his position as a narcotics agent with the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General Bureau of Narcotics Investigations after his criminal investigation began. Riley and Euler, along with third-party Michael Riley, who's yet to be sentenced, rented a storage unit in Baltimore and traveled to Pennsylvania to retrieve more than $800,000 of cash drug proceeds. A Bear Creek Township man died Saturday, more than a week after being hit by another vehicle during a pursuit with state police. Gerald Mosley was driving a 2013 Toyota along East Main Street in Wilkes-Barre when he was hit by a 2004 Acura, allegedly driven by 21-year-old Jose Mariano Crespo Mendez of Wilkes-Barre. A trooper in Hanover Township was attempting to stop Mendez for driving the vehicle with a broken bumper, broken rear window, and an inoperable taillight at around 1 in the afternoon, May 24th. When Mendez did not stop, the pursuit began, reaching speeds of 100 miles an hour. That's when Mendez turned onto Jumper Road, ran a red light, and continued onto East Main, where he struck Mosley. State police say the license plate of Mendez Acura is registered to a Cadillac owned by a woman in Hanover Township. Mendez is facing charges of aggravated assault by vehicle while driving under the influence, reckless endangerment, among similar charges. He remains in jail after failing to post $50,000 bail. A weekend shooting stemming from a gang dispute in Wilkes-Barre has led to the arrest of one man. Police were called to reports of shots fired shortly after 6 Saturday morning in the 100 block of Carlisle Street. Shortly after, police were then called to 300 Parkview Circle to reports of a large fight in front of the building. A witness there told police her friend was arguing with 22-year-old Thomas Liano, a known gang member. Police searched an apartment where they found Liano along with heroin, marijuana, weapons, and cash. He was charged with discharging a firearm into an occupied structure, reckless endangerment, illegal possession of a firearm, drug trafficking, and other charges. He was arraigned, bail set at $150,000. Coming up on WYLN News, remembering Reverend Mano. Plus, coming back after a virus. We'll explain. But first, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Partly cloudy, 56 overnight. The thunderstorms return, but the weekend, fingers crossed, doesn't look so bad. We'll be right back.
Don't make the big box mistake. Shop local and save at Grand Central in Hazleton. Get better prices than the big box store on our huge selection of furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics at Grand Central in Hazleton and at the Laurel Mall.
Krugel's Georgetown Deli and Beer is more than just a great place to grab 6-packs to go. You can also enjoy great draft beer, including their exclusive Friornina milk stouts. Take it to go in a crowler or mix and match bottles of your favorite craft beers. Or just cool down with one of their slushies. Check out the Georgetown Pub Fare menu, including their Flight and Bites with your choice of sauces and 5-ounce draft beers. Stop in and play Keno or other Pennsylvania Lottery games. Don't forget to check out their website and Facebook for tasting events. Krugel's Georgetown Deli and Beer in Wilkes-Barre Township, right next to the Big Cow.
Tri-County has been keeping your office up to speed since 1969. Everything your office needs: office supplies, personal and custom business forms, business cards, office furniture, new and used office equipment, copy, print, and scan solutions with wide format capabilities. Leasing is also available, free off-street parking, and free local delivery. Tri-County Business Machines, 117 East Broad Street in Hazleton, 570-459-0754. Family owned and operated since 1969.
Don't make the big box mistake. Shop local and save at Grand Central in Hazleton. Get better prices than the big box store on our huge selection of furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics at Grand Central in Hazleton and at the Laurel Mall.
Friends, family, and community leaders attended the funeral service of the Reverend John Mano in Williamsport today. He served in the priesthood for over 50 years and touched the hearts of many that knew him. Our Julie Stefanovich has more on the life of Reverend John Mano.
Reverend John Mano was born on April 26, 1941 in Williamsport, and made every town he lived in since then a better place. He attended St. Pius X Seminary in Dalton and was ordained to the priesthood in May of 1968 at St. Peter's Cathedral in Scranton. He served as assistant pastor at the cathedral, at St. John the Evangelist in Pittston, and Annunciation Church in Williamsport. He received his first pastorate at St. John Bosco in Cunningham in 1984 and served there until 1998. He celebrated his 50th anniversary of priesthood back in 2018. He also honored vets and service members and showed his patriotism while riding his own Harley-Davidson motorcycle. He was the chaplain of the Williamsport Fire Department and an ambassador of the MDA Fill the Boot campaign. Reverend Mano died on May 30th at the age of 78 following unexpected complications at UPMC Williamsport. Wyln will celebrate the life of Reverend John Mano by bringing you a special half-hour memorial tribute that will begin airing next week. Reporting for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
A New Jersey man had to make an emergency landing Monday afternoon in Rush Township. Emergency responders called to a field near the 200 block of Fairview Street, where 74-year-old Claudio Abreu of Great Mountains, New Jersey, landed his fixed-wing glider. He took off out of New Jersey and lost thermal lift, causing him to land the glider in Schuylkill County. No injuries were reported in the incident. After experiencing a cyber attack this past weekend, officials in Luzerne County expect the computer network there should be fully operational in the courthouse by the end of this week. Much of the system has been shut down since the virus infected the network May 25th. County Manager David Pedri said the Recorder of Deeds office and Assessor's office were unable to access records but examined hard copies of deed records. Other departments were fully operational since the weekend and provided handwritten receipts for courthouse transactions. Information technology technicians have been working on the network, and investigators are still not sure when that virus got into the system. The county expects to receive an assessment report compiled by consultants today and hope to have everything back to normal there by Friday. Hundreds of workers were in Harrisburg today rallying for a living wage. Governor Tom Wolf and Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman both spoke before the crowd. Governor Wolf has been pushing for raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, as other states have already done. According to the governor, Pennsylvania has the lowest wage allowed by federal law, and it's hurting workers. He called on the legislature to stand with workers and raise the minimum wage. Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman echoed the governor's comments, adding, "People deserve the dignity of being able to support themselves when they're working full-time jobs," and once again called on legislators to raise the wage, as 29 states have already done. Wilkes-Barre Township welcoming a new police chief last evening. Retired Chief Ron Smith, who served for 40 years, said farewell to his community before welcoming new Chief of Police Will Clark to the position. Smith says that Chief Clark will do a great job and the community is in good hands. Pennsylvania has a new congressman. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi Monday night swore in Republican Representative Fred Keller. He represents the 12th District, which encompasses a heavily Republican swath of central and northern Pennsylvania. Keller last month won a special election to replace Republican Tom Marino, who resigned back in January. Coming up on Mayflower's News Choice, WYLN News intern Nicole Ambrush has a fun weekend activity to share with us. Plus, on Trooper Talk Tuesday, why that steer clear law is so important with summer travel season approaching. Stay with us.
All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is honored to serve you. And this month, we're honoring those who have served us during the Bigger Things sales event. Lease a new 2019 Ram 1500 Bighorn 4x4 for just $269 a month. Learn more at allamericanjeep.net.
Hi, I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. Don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown the Hometown Village Square. The Whitetail Preserve Spring Trap Skeet League starts Tuesday, April 16th at 5 p.m. It is open to anyone who is above beginner stage in their skills. You can sign up at Whitetail any weekend leading up to the start date. Remember, the kitchen is open on Tuesdays at 5, so no need to fret over dinner. The cost is $30 to sign up, and this will go towards league maintenance, prizes, and the banquet that will be held June 18th. Remember to follow Whitetail on Facebook, facebook.com/whitetail-preserve.
Save now on a vehicle that blends city style with wilderness spirit. It's the Jeep Celebration event at All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get outside in a new Jeep Wrangler Sport 4x4 starting at $33,799. Learn more at allamericanjeep.net.
Welcome to Trooper Talk Tuesday here on WYLN. I'm Gary Perna. I'm joined by Trooper Anthony Petrowski from Pennsylvania State Police Hazleton. And today we're talking about the steer clear law. Now that we're getting into spring, otherwise known here in Pennsylvania as construction season, you need to know that you have a right as a driver to steer clear of PennDOT workers, street crews, emergency crews, and police as well, not only during construction season, but if there's an accident or they have somebody pulled over. You have to get over and give them room. So again, if we're traveling on 81, 309, 4-lane highway, get in that passing lane, give them room, correct?
Correct, yeah. The actual section is called Duty of Driver in Emergency Response Area, but it's normally referred to as the steer clear law. And what it means is if you're driving on 81 and you see a Pennsylvania State Trooper has somebody pulled over and you're in the right lane, they're pulled over on the right side of the berm. This law requires you to move over to the left lane if it's clear and if it's possible to get into that left lane, slow down and allow room for us to properly do our job there. If you can't get into the left lane, slow down and move over within the lane that you're in. This gives us room to work with. Sometimes cars break down and they can't move farther off the road, so we're working really close to the road. And on a traffic stop, you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes it could be a physical altercation, which could move over towards the road. Again, sometimes people see our lights and they veer towards us. Please slow down and move over. You can be pulled over for not moving over going through an emergency response area.
And this also is a good thing for everyone to remember when we're going through a construction area. If PennDOT is out, street crews are out, they're doing work in the right lane, or maybe they're doing work in the left lane.
Sure.
For people to slow down, take their time going through there. Also, emergency situations, everybody wants to see. They get their phones out right away and they want to take video or pictures of it. That's not the time for it. You need to pay attention to what's going on, because we may have to stop traffic too if something is going on, ambulance needs to leave or something would happen.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of times with a crash, we have to shut both lanes down on an interstate so we can allow the tow truck to properly remove the vehicle. So yes, you have to be aware. Don't be worried so much what's going on. Focus on driving your vehicle. There's people working on the side of the road there trying to clean this up to get the road open. Let them do their job. Again, a first offense for this is a $250 fine plus court cost. A third offense is $1,000 plus court cost. We take this very seriously because we're the ones out there, EMS, ambulance workers, firemen. We're all out there trying to do a job, and we want to be safe while we're out there.
So big thing, pay attention with steer clear, especially now. I know it's getting nice out, so we're going to start seeing a lot of construction areas. We're also going to see more motorists out there, which means more troopers will be out on the road as well, and police officers doing their job with this. And also, just pay attention and slow down. If you're unsure what's going on ahead of you, slow down and take your time as you're getting up there. Trooper, also, we see this time of year, when we see some construction going on, we'll also see some increased state police presence, especially on the interstate with what goes on. So again, now that we're getting there, take your time and pay attention to the reduced speed limits and if there's lane changes and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Focus on the road.
All right. Pay attention when you're driving, simply put for everyone. So thanks for joining us here on Trooper Talk Tuesday. Remember, when you're out there, pay attention. You don't want one of those big fines levied against you in case something happens. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time here on WYLN.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Tri-County has been keeping your office up to speed since 1969. Everything your office needs: office supplies, personal and custom business forms, business cards, office furniture, new and used office equipment, copy, print, and scan solutions with wide format capabilities. Leasing is also available, free off-street parking, and free local delivery. Tri-County Business Machines, 117 East Broad Street in Hazleton, 570-459-0754. Family owned and operated since 1969.
Watch Off the Beaten Path on WYLN TV 35 and discover the Pennsylvania you never knew existed.
Legislation was introduced to strengthen penalties against illegal games of skill in Pennsylvania. Our Julie Stefanovich has more.
The games of skill have cost the Pennsylvania Lottery an estimated $130 million in sales over the past year, putting funding for senior citizen programs at risk. That's why State Senator Tommy Tomlinson has introduced Senate Bill 710.
These machines are essentially picking the pockets of our senior citizens. Many times these machines are placed next to a lottery machine to mislead the public into thinking that these machines are actually lottery machines. They are gambling devices. They are illegal gambling devices. These machines, known as Pennsylvania skill games, can be found in most public places, convenience stores, gas stations, and liquor establishments, thrift stores, and shopping malls. These machines can be found in every county in the state.
Pennsylvania is the only lottery in the U.S. to donate all its resources to senior citizens. Over $29 billion has been generated since 1972.
Support programs that help with property tax and rent rebates, prescription drug assistance through PACE and PACENet program, free and reduced fare transit, local services including senior centers and meals, and a variety of senior care services.
Funding is at risk because of the so-called machines.
Over 20%, about 1 in 5 lottery retailers have at least one of these machines. And in the past year, that number has more than doubled. And I would expect if nothing's done, it will continue to grow well into the future.
Since 2013, the Pennsylvania State Police have seized nearly 600 illegal gambling devices a year, yet they see an increase in the machines despite law enforcement efforts. The Senate bill would reaffirm that the machines are illegal and strengthen criminal penalties and help law enforcement address the problem throughout the state. Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
The Greater Hazleton Area Civic Partnership wants you to bike and hike the Hazleton Trails, the Rails to Trails this weekend. WYLN News intern Nicole Ambrish has those details.
The Greater Hazleton Area Civic Partnership's Rails to Trails Committee partnered with Lehigh Valley Health Network to host a free community event at the Hazleton Rails to Trails this weekend. The 16th annual Bike and Hike event, put together by hardworking volunteers through grants and donations, is held in honor of National Trails Day. The day will begin with a ceremony to dedicate memorial trees and benches placed along the trail, and the rest of the day includes events such as a nature walk, an environmental education show presented by the Second Chance Wildlife Center, and new to this year's event, the Luzerne County Beekeepers.
I'm telling you, you can't miss the event. It's a great event. This year is going to be one of the best. It's all free event. You don't pay anything. We have all environmental stands. We have live animals that are along the trail. We have education about the live animals that are along the trail, everything but a bear. We don't have a bear.
A free picnic lunch will be provided, as well as music, free health screenings, and tricky trade. Kids will have fitness activities, face painting, a visit from Doug the Dinosaur, and access to free bike helmets while supplies last.
So many children under 12 running around without bike helmets on. Now, I don't know if that's a choice or if it's because they don't have them, but we want to make them available to the children, to protect them.
Since ticks are so popular in Pennsylvania, the Luzerne County Health Department will be giving information on what to do if you find a tick.
I think Pennsylvania is one of the #1 states for ticks in the United States right now. And that being the case, we do have a lot of ticks around here. As far as Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and some other tick-laden diseases, you want to protect yourself from those little critters, but at the same time, you want to get out and enjoy the outdoors. So, they'll be telling you things to do to prevent getting the ticks on you, and if you do get one on you, what to do and to get it off and treat it.
Hazelton Rails to Trails is a 7-mile trail from the parking lot to near Hazelbrook, but it's up to you on how much you want to adventure. So come out this Saturday to hike and bike the Hazelton Rails to Trails from 11 to 2. Reporting in Hazel Township for WYLN News, I'm Nicole Ambrish.
I think Bob had plenty of bears around there, the kind I'd like to see. That's the news. Remember, you can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
Krugel's Georgetown Deli has been voted Northeastern Pennsylvania's best craft beer selection several years running. Krugel's is your craft beer headquarters, and gift baskets are available for all occasions. Krugel's is home of the Crowler. Fill your Crowler up in their tap system and keep your favorite beer fresh longer. Krugel's Georgetown Deli, Wilkes-Barre Township, right next to the Big Cow. Stop in and play Keno or other Pennsylvania lottery games. Check them out on the web at georgetown.deli.com.